Hi there folks, welcome back to Rich Reviews. I hope you're enjoying your turkey leftovers. Well, I know I am, and I want to do something with you for folks that is definitely some turkeys. I celebrate with you my worst films of the year. These are the worst films that I saw in 2017. These are the films that I found myself thinking, why? Why did they make these? Who thought this was interesting? Who thought this would be a good idea? Who sold out their soul for paycheck here? Why anyone thought people want to see these films here, folks? On more than one occasion I thought to myself, these films, I want to talk back to the screen. On more than one occasion I want to throw my popcorn at the screen here, folks, which I miraculously restrained myself from doing. Dishonorable mentions for this year are the ones that narrowly escaped my wrath for a second time I'm mentioning on this list, but they will be given one last shout out. Those films are Roman J. Israel Esquire, Family Man, The Great Wall, The Wall, and Bushwick. Those are the dishonorable mentions for this year. Of all films I have put on the worst of the year, I don't want to simply rehash what I said about each review, although I end up probably doing that. And I really just want to spread the love of these worst films with you guys, because let's get on with the worst films of this year that made me want to go, ugh. Now, my number 10 here. My number 10 on this list is when Footage Project hit the scene. Everyone was like, oh looky, a birth of a brand new genre, the found footage genre. Well, 17 years plus later we get my number 10. Yes, my number 10 on this list is the Graceful Incident, and this probably shows you how buried the found footage genre is, because quite frankly, never before have I encountered such a lazy, incompetent mess of a found footage film. Now, in the beginning of this film, a couple gets into a car accident. The guy has a bright idea, okay, he puts a fake camera in his eye, and you're thinking to yourself, okay, could go someplace. Nope, it doesn't. It just becomes another found footage film with people running around in the dark. And when the aliens are then revealed, they look like something that would be made in circa 2000, and even then in circa 2000 these aliens they just wouldn't pass muster. This is a first-time director, and it shows. This guy is Quebecan, and on some occasion his French accents can be detected here. And this all casts off with an ending that I just found myself thinking, no, this is not possible, this is not real, this is idiotic. Now we get to number 9 on this list. Number 9 is further proof that we'll never get a good video game film, and the final chapter is never the final chapter. My number 9 here is... Yes, my number 9 on this list is Resident Evil, the final chapter, and I found myself thinking, again, was the Resident Evil franchise ever good to begin with? I don't really know. But I just found myself thinking, everything is shot in the dark, everything is shot in a haphazard way, everything is frantic, everything is moving at a frantic pace that you can't even understand what's going on. I ever saw it, I hear the actor say, oh, I play Resident Evil on set. And I'm thinking to myself, congrats, you're playing Resident Evil, you're making a movie about Resident Evil, but I have to shell over my $11 for you to act in this film. Again, the final chapter is never the final chapter. Show me a film that actually is the final chapter in a franchise and I'll believe you. Frankly, this is another one of those franchises that makes money overseas, so that way we have to get our franchise going. Now apparently James Wan is going to be rebooting this franchise. Congratulations to him, I just won't be there. Number 8 on this list, and number 8 it came out in the dearth of August, and this was a film that was on VOD and was in limited theaters. Apparently no one went to see this film. My number 8 here is... My number 8 on this list, yes, is Unlocked. And if you were to tell me that Noomi Rapace, Orlando Bloom, Toni Collette, John Malkovich, Michael Douglas were all in a spy thriller, I would say, keep talking, what is this about? And Michael Apted directed, oh goody, the guy who made the Up series and made a James Bond film. Wow, what a stinker. I mean, there's literally one scene in here that has the Noomi Rapace character going to the suspected Muslim terrorist and saying, I am a CIA agent, you're under investigation. Why would you do that? Easily predict what's going to happen 5 minutes ahead of time in this film. To top it all off, this is given one of the most idiotic reasons for someone to do a terrorist incident. Number 7 on this list, and number 7 on this list is the only saving grace for this film here is that Pitch Perfect 3 is not on this list. 7 on this list is Table 19. I am not a fan of mumblecore, and this proves how much I despise this genre. And apparently Jeffrey Blitz, who is the director here, was working off a script from the Duplass brothers. And quite frankly, I found myself thinking either this is not a great script to begin with, or he found himself with a script that wasn't funny enough or dramatic enough, so we're going to mix and match here, and boom, there's the film. And character snarkiness is gone. Quite frankly, I'm just appalled by this film. And never before as I've seen a trailer that's so misleading. I wanted to throw everything at the screen here, folks. But that pales in comparison to my number 6 film, in which horror anthology films go completely berserk. My number 6 film here is... Yes, my number 6 here is Galaxy of Horrors, and this guy's got to be one of the lamest horror anthology films in recent memory. Apparently made by a whole bunch of first-time writers and directors, although at least one guy here has some History Channel stuff that he's done. After seeing this film, I can confidently say they won't be ever writing and directing ever again. A guy has survived a crash of his ship. Apparently he's running out of oxygen, and he's forced to watch these different horror stories, and none of them are particularly fascinating. Who thought any of these ideas were particularly fascinating? And the one story that I thought to myself, okay, this is sort of going someplace, or at least thinking, or has a functioning brain, I come to realize now this one just is utterly reeks. When it comes to my number 5 on this list, now when I was coming up with this list for the worst films of the year, it was recently announced that Mystery Science Theater 3000 has been renewed for another season on Netflix. Well, MST3K, I'd like to present you with my number 5 on this list. Yes, my number 5 on this list is Kidnap, in which Halle Berry decides to sell her soul for a paycheck, in which basically is one long car chase, in which she herself is just saying either one of 3 words. Frankie, don't hurt my Frankie, or it's like, oh God! I mean, Mystery Science Theater 3000, do this show for the next season. You'll have a blast. You'll have a fun with this. I clearly did overhead shots of the car chase. I'm wondering, okay, is that actually Halle Berry driving the car? If you think my number 5 was a laugh riot, my number 4 here made me just angry, bitter, and tired. Apparently my mother laughed her head off during this film. My number 4 here is... Yes, my number 4 here is Wilson. Now, apparently you're all thinking to yourself, okay, where is the Wilson review? Well, Wilson was one of those films in which I just found myself in pure pain watching that I didn't feel... And afterwards, I found myself thinking, I don't want to review this because it's so god-awful, in which... Now, this is based off the Daniel Clowns graphic novel, in which Woody Harrelson plays a misanthropic who is just so totally annoying. Apparently, my mom, my dad, and me saw this film at a screening by ourselves. I found myself within 5 minutes of being in pure pain, in which Woody Harrelson plays a character that is just like, he is annoying, he's really emotionally abusive, he is like emotionally manipulative, and he thinks to himself, okay, I found out I'm a child from this woman who I had a relationship years ago with. I'm entitled to see this child. No, you're not! My mother just found herself laughing her head off all the way throughout this film. My mother has a very strange sense of humor. Me and my dad were like, what were you laughing at? If that was maybe in pure pain, my number 3 film left me with a longing sense of why, who thought this was a good idea. My number 3 on this list is, oh boy. Yes, you've seen this correctly. Why isn't this higher? It's The Snowman, apparently based off a novel about legendary detective Henry Hole. And how would you like to be a detective named Harry Hole or Henry Hole? I don't know. Apparently 15 pages worth of script was left out of the finished film. I wish you ran out of funding a long time ago, because this film is like, it's incomprehensible to figure out what this film is about. Apparently a serial killer is giving a speech at the end where it's like, I don't care, your reasoning is dumb, your reasoning is flawed, your reasoning is just idiotic. Top it up by the fact is everyone is saying, oh, this guy is a legendary detective. Yes, but he's a legendary detective with who's fallen on hard times. We've seen this time and time again. What the heck was Michael Fassbender thinking? This was a really conservative war consideration with Martin Scorsese directing. He escaped the bullet. His legendary editor Thelma Schumacher was brought on to salvage this project. Even her talents could not save this god-awful project. Now, if you think my number 3 film left me hopping mad, that is nothing compared to my number 2. My number 2 on this list, well, yes, my number 2 on this list is The Layover. Harry Ford, as a reasonably decent actor, made such a terrible idea for a project. Hopefully these writers who wrote this thing will never write again. And basically has 2 best friends who I cannot conceivably be friends in real life, and Alexander Dario and Kate Upton. And I just found myself thinking, okay, the Dario can act, Upton can't. Play to Upton's strengths. And I realized, oh yeah, Upton doesn't have any strengths besides her body. And these 2 friends go on a road trip. They spend the majority of the time here just trying to one-up each other for a guy who's going to a wedding, an actual wedding to who do you think is actually getting married? And I just found myself thinking, this is not funny. The hijinks of these girls are not funny. But that all pales in comparison to what I think is what my worst film of the year is. You all can probably guess what it is. You all probably be proven right what it is. The number 1 worst film of the year is... My worst film of the year film for me here is Transformers: The Last Knight, in which a whole bunch of people sacrifice their souls for a paycheck, who thought to himself, okay, I'll walk away, let a writer's room of people come up with a particular shared universe, only to be brought back in because, quite frankly, I didn't want to share. Again, who actually knew the Transformers all throughout history? Who knew that? Hooray! I didn't care one chicken bit. It's the only one in the theater for my screening on an afternoon after work, and the only people who actually came by were the cleaning crew after the film was over. They themselves were amazed how few people were actually watching this film. Here's the thing, I happen to like the first 3 Transformers films. Yes, 2 is one of the stinkiest things I've ever seen, but I still like it. Why in the heck did I watch this? I don't know. This all sets up for possibly for another film. I probably won't be drinking the Kool-Aid for this particular film here, folks. I'm just saddened by the fact that I spent my $11 for this film. Again, I don't want to rehash what I said about Transformers, because quite frankly, if I rehash any more, I think my head's going to explode. So folks, what did you think about the 10 worst films of the year on this list? Did you happen to agree with any of these films? Did you happen to disagree with any of these films? I hope you agree with these films on this list, because quite frankly, if I didn't, I'd be thinking, what were you thinking about actually liking these films? As always, folks, like, comment, subscribe, enrich yourself with knowledge. Put everything in the comment box below, folks. I'll see you next time, folks, with hopefully better films. And we can go on to December, and hopefully some really great films are about to occur. I'll see you next time, folks.